Hello, students. Uh, Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you will be fine at home. And as per my previous series of lectures, actually we have started the unit number one. Unit number one is totally deals with the magnetic fields and magnetic circuits. So this is the we can say the last lecture of my unit number one. So in this lecture, basically we just go through the basics and the magnetic fields. The one thing is there, if I'm talking about the magnetic fields, so we having a two fields basically in our machine part, because in my previous lectures I already told you about this thing, that electrical machine is an important subject in electrical engineering. So electrical machines are of two type. One is the basically our generator and motor. Generator and motor, if I'm talking about generator and motor, my dear student, so generator is basically do what? It basically convert mechanical power into electrical power. But if I'm talking about the motor, so motor does the inverse thing of it, means convert mechanical power, basically the electrical power into the mechanical power. Means we can say the output of generator gives input to the motor, and output of motor gives to the input to the generator. Okay, so in this basically if I'm talking about the machine, so machine are of two types: rotating and non-rotating, static and dynamic. And if I'm talking about the non-rotating, so we have a transformer. And transformer is a very is we can say is a costly and main equipment of power system. Why I'm telling this thing? Because transformer is generally used for transform the power of one circuit to the another, or without changing its frequency, but it is a static electromagnetic device. In definition, we used to say static electromagnetic device. So my dear student, if I am talking about the magnetic, that is electromagnetic device, so electrical field and the magnetic field. So in my previous series of lectures, I already told you about the basics of magnetic circuit basically. So in this lecture of mine, means today's lecture, I basically tell you about the basics of magnetic field. When it was established, what we can represent it, why we called as magnetic field, how the force occurs in the magnetic field, because magnetic field and magnetic circuit combined a magnet basically. And this basically we need, why? Because we want to convert one form of energy to the another form basically. In these types of machine, what we are doing, we are converting the electrical power into mechanical, and electrical energy into mechanical energy, and mechanical energy into the electrical energy, so vice versa. That is why we also called as electromechanical energy conversion. But before this, what we are going to do, what we are basically doing, we are basically converting electrical power into magnetic. First I am converting the electrical field into magnetic field, then magnetic field converted into the mechanical power. It happens in basically what? It happens in the motor, because we are converting the voltage, current, power, energy into torque, rotation. But if I'm talking about the generator, my dear student, so in generator, what we are going to do, in the input side, we having torque, means mechanical power, convert into what? Magnetic field. And then through the magnetic field, we have electromagnetic, means we are converting it to the electrical field. So we are having two things: electrical field, mechanical field, and between this electrical magnetic field, we having what? Magnetic field. So I hope you understand. That is why the magnetic field is very necessary for electromechanical energy conversion. If I am doing so, if I am basically converting the electrical to mechanical and mechanical to electrical, we need a certain coupling circuit. That coupling circuit is what? Magnetic circuit. And if I'm talking about, my dear student, magnetic circuit, so magnetic circuit needs magnetic field. That is why it is very basic, and it is the last lecture of my unit number one. So that is why I'm telling about you the magnetic fields. Okay, now this is all about my introduction. Now let's move on. That is our objectives. Now what is the objective of this lecture? Means today's lecture, help the learner means you, the students, to understand about the history and basics of, or basic of magnetic fields. History and basic of magnetic field. Because if we don't know about the basic, if we don't know about the history, so my dear student, how can we say this thing? Nowadays we are using one thing, that the generation of corona was from China. How you are saying this? Why you are saying this? Because the history says that in the laboratory of China country, the, that type of virus was generated, was basically created, was invented or created. That is why we are seeing. So history is very necessary. So help the learner to understand about the history and basic of magnetic fields. Okay. Secondly, and the next we can say make students familiar with properties of a force on a charge moving in a magnetic field. So properties of force, what type of property we have, which property we have on a charge moving in a magnetic field. So that is our what? That is our objective of this lecture. So I hope you understand this thing. Now move forward. Now if I'm talking about the history, if I'm talking about the history, my dear student, so a brief history of magnetism. The word magnetism came from magnet, magnet, and the magnet we know attraction and repulsion, as we earlier know that magnet. If I am talking about the magnet, so magnet is what, my dear student? We can say a bar piece. We can say what? We can say it is having a force of attraction and repulsion. Repulsion means repel. Attraction means attract. You know, my previous series of lectures, I already told you about this attraction and the repulsion part, my dear student. So in this, we are going to study about what? We are going to study about the history of magnetism. So firstly, if I'm talking about the 13th century BC, that is before Christ, Chinese used a compass. Chinese used a compass. Use a magnetic needle, probably an invention of Arabic or Indian origin. So if I'm talking about the compass, in our ancient time, we having a compass. So that compass basically having what? A magnetic needle. That that compass used by a China, or we can say Chinese use a compass. So that compass having what? Use a magnetic needle. We know in a compass we have a magnet and we have a needle. But in 13th century is what it was established. Basically, it was invented and it was used. Okay, so it was used in China. So it consists what? It having a magnetic needle, and magnetic needle basically. So probably an invention of Arabic or Indian origin. So if I'm talking about the invention, so it became invention of Arabic and Indian origin, my dear student. Now, if I'm talking about 800 BC, that is again before Christ, Greeks, Greeks. If I'm talking about Greek, so discovered magnetite, that is Fe3O4, we called as magnetite in a small word, but basically the chemical formula is Fe3O4. Okay, attracts pieces of iron. Attracts what? Pieces of iron. So what we are saying to what we basically used to say, the magnet is what? Magnet having the force of attraction, force of repulsion, my dear student. So attraction and repulsion, two things are there. Attraction and repulsion, two things are there. So if I'm talking about 800 BC, so Greeks discovered magnetite, that is Fe3O4, attracts piece of iron, means iron we having. So piece of iron we having, that piece of iron basically attract by which type of material? That is Fe3O4, and that discovered by the Greeks basically. Next, if I'm talking about again, if I'm talking about 1269, Pierre de Maricourt found that the direction of a needle near a spherical natural magnet formed lines that encircle the sphere. So that is why it is called as flux lines. And that at that time it was invented that we having a flux lines, means flux in a form of lines which basically attract or repel the iron piece or ferromagnetic material. But my dear student, if I'm talking about the flux line, in my previous lecture, I already told you that if I'm talking about the flux lines, so lines are basically invisible. It is not visible. It is not viewed by a naked eye. So we can say if in the basically the invention time, Faraday Maricourt found the direction of a needle near a spherical natural magnet, formed lines that encircle the sphere. So how it founds? It founds a circle. It founds what? Encircle the sphere. It's just like a circle encircling the sphere. So we can say that it is a what? It is a flux line. The lines also pass through 2 points diametrically opposed to each other. if we having 2 points, means we having same poles, they basically repel each other. They basically repel each other. If I'm using the opposite poles, they having attract each other. So in this lecture I told you about the history. If any one person asks you about the magnetism, that when was magnetism started in this country, and what was the history of magnet, on in which year we found the magnet. So this is about the history, my dear student. Okay. So uh, uh, s- for example, nowadays we are suffering from pandemic, and that pandemic is the basically uh, a disease, a virus basically, and virus is formed in China. Anyone tell you, and basically the America is also telling this thing, that it was invented in China, Wuhan laboratory, city of China, lab, and the laboratory of Wuhan basically established a coronavirus, what we say. But basically that is the history, and it was found in 2019 basically, in the month of November in China. But in 2020 we suffered, basically we means the lot of countries suffered in 2020. Okay. But it is called as COVID-19. Okay. So we can say, as per the talking about the corona, it's having some history. So similar to that one, that magnetism is again a basically a history is there. Now, the line also pass through 2 points diametrically opposed to each other. So if they are passing through the same line, they basically doing what? They basically opposing to each other, my dear student. Opposing to each other means we having a poles. That is why we can say we found a pole there. We having a poles. Attracting opposite poles, repelling same poles. Means opposite poles attracting. But if I'm talking about the basically, we can say opposite poles, they repel. So that is why it is called a pole, that we found a pole. Now he called the points poles. Now in 1269 we basically come to that point, and we can also say that in 2069 we know that the invention was created by Paris de Mericourt, that in magnet we having poles. We gave name them poles, North Pole and South Pole, South Pole and North Pole. Okay, hope you understand. Now if I'm talking about 1600, that means 1600, William Gilbert, that is William Gilbert, expanded experiments with magnetism. Basically they expanded the experiments with magnetism, okay, to a variety of materials. Means they basically do what? They expanded the experiments. They done so many experiments with magnetism to a variety of materials. Means materials are there, and variety of materials they basically expanded their experiment to do. Hope you understand this thing. Suggested the earth itself was a large permanent magnet. So through the William Gilbert in 1600, we came to know that the Earth is also a very large permanent magnet. Means they having a poles, they having a North Pole, South Pole, North Pole. That is why we call that we having the North, South, East, West directions are there, and poles are also there. By the William Gilbert in 1600, we came to know this thing. So I hope you understand now. If I'm talking about a brief history of magnetism, if I'm talking about the brief history of magnetism, so in 1750, means 1750, that is 1750, experimenters showed that magnetic poles exert attractive or repulsive force on each other. So in my previous lecture, I told you that magnet can be identified with their poles, North Pole, South Pole, North Pole. But my dear student, how can we say that? In 1750, the experimenters showed that the magnetic poles exert attractive or repulsive force on each other. If they are opposite, they attract. If they are same, they repel. So repulsive force and attractive force was basically found in 1750. Okay, I hope you understand. Now if I'm talking about 1819, means 1890, found an electric current deflected to compass needle. Now that is the interaction with electrical field. We can say the electrical field interaction we found in 1819. Okay, 1819, found an electric current deflected a compass needle. So if I'm talking about a compass needle, so that deflected basically. Okay, and it is deflected by electric current, and that electric current basically does what? It basically deflected a capacitor. So we can say there will be some interaction between magnetic and electrical. Okay. Now later on in 1820s, Faraday and Henry. Now coming to the point, Faraday and Henry. Further connection between electricity and magnetism. Now Faraday basically gave me a law. In my previous lecture, we talked a lot about the basically laws. So electromagnetic laws, we having first Biot-Savart, then we having what? Ampere, then we having Force law, then we having Faraday's law, then we having Lenz law. So if I'm talking about Faraday and Henry, so they basically having a connection between electricity and magnetic field, because as per the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, what basically told by, or what basically stated by the Faraday, that whenever basically the flux linkage occurs in a coil, then due to this flux linkage variation, what will happen? The EMF will introduce, the EMF will induce, that known as EMF induce EMF. And if it is a closed circuit, then it is called induced current. Okay, my dear student. But second thing, how can we calculate the value? So second law states that the magnitude of induced EMF is equal to the flux linkage variation. That is why we called as E is equals to d phi by dt. But we apply the Lenz law also. So we write E is equals to minus n d phi by dt. So Faraday basically experimented this thing and gave a result in 1820. Okay, and Henry also there, founder of capacitor, we can say. A changing magnetic field creates an electric field. Okay, so Faraday and Henry both gave a suggestion, gave basically did an experiment, and after that experiment gave a suggestion that if we vary the magnetic field, then there will be creation of an electric field. Means there is a relation between electrical and magnetic field. Okay. Later on, Maxwell was also a physicist. They gave what? Changing electric field produce a magnetic field. Means we having a changing electrical field. If I am in a changing electrical field, also produce a magnetic field, similar to your Biot-Savart law. Biot-Savart law states that if we give a coil, if we have a coil, if we give current to that coil, means we flow the coil in that current. So what happens? That coil meet with the turn of that current, turns into current, will give you the ampere turn. At that ampere turn will having the mmf, and if we having a reluctance in that field, or that circuit, or that core, then we can say mmf by reluctance is what? Is your flux, that is magnetic field. So if we are varying the current, we having a magnetic field. So it is basically suggested by the Maxwell. A changing electric field produce a magnetic field. So it is a brief history. Why I'm talking about the brief history, my dear student? Why I'm telling you this thing? Basically, if we don't know about the brief history, then what we do? How can we say in which year the magnetism was started? Okay, I hope you understand. Now move forward. Now Hans Christian Oersted. Now Hans Christian Oersted, basically in 1777 to 1851. 1777 to 1851. Okay, the tenure of his life basically was the tenure of his life. Okay, now discover the relationship between electricity and magnetism. So anyone ask you the basically who was the main physicist who basically derived a relation between these things? So Hans Christian Oersted in 77 to 1851 basically discovered the relationship between electricity and magnetism. So if I'm talking about the electricity and magnetism, though the relation, though the interaction between the electricity and magnetism was basically derived or discovered by the Hans Christian Oersted. I hope you understand. An electric current in a wire deflect a nearby compass needle. An electric current in a wire deflected a nearby compass needle. So if I'm talking about an electric current in a wire, is deflected by what? Nearby compass. Okay. The first evidence of connection between electric and magnetic phenomena was given by Hans Christian. The first evidence of connection between electric and magnetic phenomena was given by Hans Christian. Also the prepare to prepare pure, also the first to prepare pure aluminum. So my dear student, if aluminum we are talking about, that is a metal. So that metal basically prepared by him, basically who prepared the aluminum, prepare aluminum, that is the pure aluminum, that was done by Hans Christian Ørsted. Okay, so I hope you understand about the Hans Christian Ørsted, who was the Hans Christian Ørsted, and one in which year we got the magnet. Basically, we are we were talking about the magnet in which year. So if we talk about the magnet history, so it was in 200, 1200, 1300 BC. Okay, hope you understand. Now move forward. Now magnetic poles. Every magnet, regardless of its shape, has two poles. If I'm talking about the magnetic poles, so every magnet, regardless of its shape, whatever shape it has, means regardless. Regardless means rectangular, we can say rectangular shape, spherical shape, we having the square shape. So regardless which type of shape they have, it have of its shape has two poles. Basically, which type of poles has two poles called north and south. As I earlier told you, in a magnet it is represented by the attraction and repulsion force. But if I'm talking about the attraction and repulsion force, my dear student, so attraction and repulsion force is basically done by the poles, and the poles are north and south poles. Which type of poles we have? North and south poles. So north poles are there and the south poles are there, and pole exerted force on each other. Basically, north exert force on the south and south exert the force on north. Means attraction force will be between the two magnets, between the two poles basically, and that poles are opposite. Means if you're having north, we're having south, so now north attract the south, south attract the north. If we're having the north and north poles, they can't attract each other. So I hope you understand this thing, my dear student. So similar to the way electric charge exert force on each other, like poles repel each other. Electric charge exert the force on each other, like poles repel each other. North to north and south to south. Means north is repelling the north pole and south is repelling the south pole. So unlike poles attract each other. Unlike poles means not liking, opposite we can say in simple way. So likely poles they basically repel. North repel north, south repel south. But if I'm talking about the unlike poles, so unlike poles is what? North north, south south. Unlike means north south south north. But if I'm talking about the like, north north south south. So north north south south they basically do what? They repel, and north south south north they attract. I hope you understand. Now move forward. Now the poles received their names due to the way magnet behaves in the earth magnetic field. So how we can say that, by dear student? How we are taking calling that the magnet is a north pole. This magnet having this type of south pole. North is there, south is there. But my dear student, how we are saying this thing? That pole is having, that magnet is having the north pole, that magnet is having the south pole, but north pole is there, south pole is there, but how can we identify that is the north and that is the south? So the poles received their names due to the way a magnet behaves in the earth's magnetic field. Means if there is a magnetic field, which I earlier told you that is a magnetic field, it is a magnetic field basically of earth magnetic field. So in earth magnetic field we having what? We having what, my dear student? In earth magnetic field we having what? We having basically in earth magnetic field we having north pole and south pole. So similar to that one, we can say if a bar magnet is suspended so that it can move freely, it will rotate. If a bar magnet is suspended so that it can move freely, it can move what? Freely. It will rotate. It will also rotate. So if it will rotate, okay, now it will rotate. So what will happen? The magnetic north pole points towards the earth north geographic pole, means north pole of magnet towards the north geographic pole. Okay, this means earth north geographic pole is a magnetic south pole. Okay, similarly the earth south geographic pole is magnetic north pole. As I earlier told you, opposite poles attracting, unlike poles attracting, similar to that, non liking, or we can say unlike poles attracting, liking poles repelling. So if I'm talking about that, the north pole of basically the pole of magnet attract by the pole of the geographic pole of earth, so we can say that is the south pole. If magnet is north pole, then we having the south pole in the earth. If attract by the south pole to the north pole of the earth means, for example, earth having north and south pole both geographically. If we use a suspended a bar magnet, which we know that it is a north, and move towards the pole of earth, that is become the south geographic pole of earth. And if I'm suspended the pole having the south pole, it moves towards the north pole, geographical north pole of earth. So I hope you understand this thing. Now, magnetic poles, again, it's having a theory. The force between two poles varies as the inverse square of distance between them. The force between two poles varies. Now this is the new thing we are going to new, basically it is old thing, but this is new for new student. The force between two poles, the force between two poles means north and south, we having force. The force between two poles varies as the inverse square, as varies as the inverse square of the distance between them. Means if they having a distance between them is d, so d square varies as the inverse d square of the distance. Okay. Now, a simple magnetic pole has never been isolated. Simple magnetic pole, if I'm talking about simple magnetic pole, simple magnetic pole, if my pole having a magnet, so I already told you that in a magnet, the one thing is that what, it having always dipole system. It having what? It having always dipole system. And dipole system is what? Tell me. Dipole means two poles. Always we found in a piece of a magnet, always we found north and south pole, south and north pole. If our rod is there, it is made up of aluminum, for example. A rod is there, it is made up of aluminum, it is made up of magnet basically. Now, if I cut in a one piece, so you always found a north and south pole. If I cut into a two piece, again two pieces having two north, two south each. Means one having north south, another one having north south. So if we combinedly we can say two north and two south poles. So we can say what? It's basically poles varies as the inverse square of the distance between them. The distance between their self means two things are there. For example, two things are, so distance between these two, we can say the square of that distance, inverse square of that. So the force between two poles varies. Okay. A simple magnetic pole has never been isolated. It has never been isolated, as I earlier told you. In other words, magnetic poles are always found in pairs. So magnetic poles always found in a pair means always you will find north, south, south, north, north, south. So you can't say it is a single pole or simple pole. It is always two poles. We can say bipolar system, dipole system. So in other words, magnetic poles are always found in pairs, my dear student. You will always found in a pairs, not simple. Okay. Now, all attempts so far to detect an isolated magnetic pole has been unsuccessful. Now, so many attempts, so many experiments were done to detect an isolated magnetic pole. Means if I'm talking about the magnetic having magnet having two poles, north and south, south and north. So many experiments previously done to identify that there will be some isolated pole. Means north is simple north is there, then simple north. In a piece we having north pole, in another piece we having south pole, but it was unsuccessful. We always found in a pair. So, no matter how many times a permanent magnetic is cut in two, each piece always has a north and south pole. Now, I told you, earlier told you in my previous slides that if I having a full magnetic field or magnetic basically material, if I cut into the small pieces, so each pieces consist of two poles, north and south. Not always north, not always south. We are having two poles, that is north and south. So I hope you understand magnetic field. So it is a reminder. How can we identify? An electric field surrounds any electric charge. Now, if I'm talking about the electrical field, my dear student, so in an electrical field surrounds an electrical charge. If I'm talking about the electrical field, so in electrical field you always found what? In electrical field, my dear student, you always found what? You always found an, or we can say, surrounds any electric charge. The electric charge will be there. So we can say we having an electric charge. So that electric charge surround an electric field surrounds an electric charge. That is your the electrical field. So the region of space surround any moving electric charge also contains a magnetic field. The region of space surrounding any moving electric charge. Now, if I am talking about the space surrounding of region, so any moving electric charge, if we having, for example, we having a coil, in that coil the charge is moving. Okay, if charge is moving, so what happened? The charge basically meet with the turns of the coil. If I am meeting with the turns of the coil, basically ampere turn is there. So ampere turn is what? mmf. So if I'm varying the electrical charge, moving the electrical charge also contains a magnetic field. That's the second. Magnetic field surrounds also surrounds some magnetic substances, making up a permanent magnet. So my dear student, if you want to make a permanent magnet, if you want to make a permanent magnet, and if you basically want a permanent magnet with the help of, you have to choose the ferromagnetic material in which the magnetic domain can easily inserted or can easily arrange, as I earlier told you in my previous lecture. So what you have to do, you have to purchase, or you have a permanent magnet, put the iron piece of ferromagnetic material between that magnet in some time, after some time, or some basically we can say the tenure, after some tenure it behave like a magnet. So always there will be some residual magnetism you will find. So we can make a permanent magnet. But we know permanent magnet not easily available in a vast amount, in a huge amount, in a large amount. So what we have to do? What we have to do, my dear student? You have to do what? You have to create an alternate of that magnet, that is the electromagnet. Alternate of that magnet is what? Electromagnet. In the my previous lectures, I already told you that we can easily create an electromagnet with the help of what? With the help of winding that is wound on a, that is wound on a core. And if it is wound on a core, then we do what? We have to flow the current in that winding. What happens? Current meets the turn, mmf, then reluctance. mmf to reluctance will give you the flux, and then we having the density and intensity, my dear student. And density is always denoted by what? B. We also called as that is the magnetic field B, and that density is what? Tell me what? That is flux per area, Weber per meter square. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. Now, magnetic field. It is a vector quantity, vector, and symbolized by B dash. It always symbolized by B dash. Dash means it is a vector, means it's basically the line based quantity. It's having some direction. Okay, now vector quantity is there, it is given by B, so B is there. And we also already studied the B and H curve in the previous slides, my previous slides. So BH curve basically giving you the density and intensity relationship. Okay, and density is what? Density is totally dependent on the flux lines basically, and how much line accumulated in an area is basically covered an area. So the ratio of these two, we can say the density. If I'm talking about the intensity, so intensity is the primary stage, that is mmf per length, means how much the magnetomotive force in a length we have. So ampere turn per length. I hope you understand this thing. Now, magnetic field lines can be used to show how the field lines as traced out by a compass would look. So through the compass needle, we can say, giving a compass needle. So through that compass needle, what we have to do, what can we do basically? Through compass needle, my dear student, through compass needle, I can do and you also can do. Okay. With the compass needle, you can identify the North Pole and South Pole very easily. So through that compass needle, basically the direction is given by the direction a north pole of a compass needle points in that location. So in that location, the north pole we can find with the compass needle. We can easily identify that through compass needle it is a north pole. It moves that. The needle moves there. So we can say it is what? It is what, my dear student? It is a north. Okay. Now, magnetic field lines can be used to show how the field lines as traced out by the compass. So, magnetic field line can be used to show how the field lines as traced out by a compass. How can we trace with the compass? Good look. Okay, you can see. Now, this is the simple diagrammatically show here. Magnetic field lines bar magnet example. Now I took an example basically here, that is of bar magnet. Now see, in this bar magnet we having north pole, we having the south pole. So north attracting the south and south attracting the north. See here. So what we can say, we having what? We having basically the flux. These are shown by the direction, arrows, arrows, arrows. Here four arrows in one arrow. Here again four arrows in one arrow. This is the higher range of the flux density. This is the lower range of the flux density. So we can say N is basically attracting by the S, or S is attracting by the N. But if we put same N with the N, here one N with the N, then what we can say? It is repelling. If we put S nearby to the S, what we can say? It is repelling. Attracting and repelling, it's basically by the function. What we are doing, basically we use likely or we are usually unlikely. Okay, I hope you understand. Now, the compass can be used to trace the field lines. So compass, through compass, needle is there, we can tracing that, moving, 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 finally moving. The lines out the magnet points from north pole to south. Obviously, this is showing by the flux line, and it's showing you the north pole to the south pole by this. Okay, so here is a Mar magnet. I am repeating the again to understand, to easily understand this thing, my dear student. So if I want to move, that's basically what we have to do. If I want to move this thing, so if I am moving here, it is moving from north, 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 north to south, then south to north. It is here. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. Now move forward. Magnetic field lines bar magnet again. So I took a bar magnet here. In this we having, this is north pole, this is south pole, and this is shown by some lines, fluxes. This is shown by the some lines, this is fluxes. So magnetic field pattern surrounds a bar magnet. So magnetic field pattern will find the surround of it. We having a magnet, but we are finding surround of it. Okay, so hope you understand. Now iron fillings are used to show the pattern of the electric field line. So iron fillings, if I am the irons, now how we are identify this thing. Now basically it is not visible to us, but if I put some iron pieces nearby, so they are attracting each other. So iron fillings are used to show the pattern of electrical field lines. So iron will show you the electrical field lines. The direction of the field is direction of a, that is the direction of a north pole would point. So direction it is shown by here, it is the north, and it is behaved like a which, north pole. So I hope you understand, this is shown by the flux line, and we can also show by the iron, that is electric current. Okay, now see, magnetic field lines opposite poles. Now this is the opposite poles. Poles means north and south pole, south and north pole. So magnetic field pattern between opposite poles, north and south of two bar magnets. Here we having the north and south poles of two magnets. So here what we can say, now iron fillings are used to show the pattern of electric field line, similar to the previous one, similar to the previous one. But here in this, the direction of the field is the direction on a north pole would point. Would point what? Compared to the electric field produced by an electric dipole. Compared to the electric field produced by an electric dipole. Now dipole system is there. That is, in each piece we have always two poles. One is north, another one is south. So opposite two poles attracting each other. Same two poles repelling each other. So if you want repulsion, then you have to use what? Same poles. But my dear student, in iron piece we have always two poles, north and south. Always dipole system. Now move forward. Again, magnetic field lines like poles. Like poles means similar poles. So here, magnetic field pattern between like poles, north to north, of two bar magnets. Two bar magnets we have. So we having what? We having two similar system. We having what? We having what, my dear student, here? We having the same poles. So what they are doing, basically repelling each other. So iron filling are used to again show the pattern of electric field lines. Now the direction of the field is the direction of a north pole again. Now would point. So in my all slides, I use north pole to show you. So north north repelling, north south. So see here, it is north south. We having two poles. Then we having put opposite poles nearby the north pole, that is south pole. So attracting lines shown by like this. See, in the next we having north pole. So they are basically diverting, known as repelling, not attracting. They basically doing what? They're repelling each other. So I hope you understand this thing. Now, Earth's magnetic poles. So more proper terminology would be that as magnet has north seeking and south seeking poles. So we having two types of pole, my dear student. One is north, another one is south. So north pole and south pole. So north seeking pole points to the north geographic pole. This would correspond to the Earth south magnetic pole. Okay, the south seeking pole points to the south geographical pole. This would correspond to the Earth north magnetic pole. So if I am magnetic pole, I am talking, that is north pole. But if I am geographical, I am telling about the south pole. In geographical we called as south. But if I am telling about the magnetic pole, so my dear student, if I use a magnet there, so what happened? That magnet basically attracts. So we can say it is a north magnetic pole, because opposite two poles attract each other. Likely poles repel each other. So I hope you understand. Now the configuration of Earth magnetic field is very higher, because we know the Earth length is very higher, my dear student. Earth having a very large area. So the configuration of Earth magnetic field is very much like that one, that would be achieved by burying a gigantic bar, gigantic giant bar, basically gigantic bar magnet deep in the Earth's interior. So you can find the how much, if you want to achieve this thing, so you use gigantic bar of magnet in the Earth interior, then you can find it. Okay, now Earth's magnetic field. So see here, if I'm talking about the Earth's magnetic field, so it is the geographic equator. We having north and south moving here. Okay, a south magnetic pole is near the Earth north magnetic pole. That is south magnetic pole represented by here. That is magnetic equator equation. Equator basically this is. But now this is what? This is the attraction. This is done by the attraction. Here, these are the flux lines attracting the opposite poles. Here again they are attracting. So this will become the south geographic pole, as I earlier told you, but it is basically north magnetic pole, my dear student. So if I used to bury a giant, basically the rod of magnetic pole or magnetic material, we can say magnet bar, then what happens? It is attracted by here. So we can say it is a south geographic pole, but it is basically the north pole of magnet. Here it is a geographic north pole of Earth, axis of rotation. It's also shown here. It is rotating. But what happened? It is attracted by his this one. So it is a south pole of the magnet. But it is basically the north geographic pole. So I hope you understand this thing. Now, a south magnetic pole is near the Earth north magnetic geographic pole. The north magnetic pole is near the Earth's south geographic pole, as I earlier told you. So, source of Earth magnetic field is likely convention current in the Earth core. It is basically doing what? It's giving you the current, conventional current. There is a strong evidence that the magnitude of a planet's magnetic field is related to its rate of rotation. So it's related how much is rotating. It's related to this thing. Okay. The direction of Earth's magnetic field reverses periodically. Now we all know Earth rotates, so the direction will change. Now, for example, north south is this thing. Now I'm replacing it. So south will become north and north will become south. So it is replacing like by day. It is replacing like this. So for example, we having this Earth. If it is attracting, it is south of, it is the north pole of. So it is attracting like this. Okay. I hope you understand. Now, in a simple way, if I am talking about the direction of magnetic definition of magnetic field, so magnetic field at some point in space can be defined in the terms of magnetic force, that is FB. Sometimes terms of magnetic force, that is FP. F cross, or we can say F vector is there, FP, and the magnetic force will exerted on a charge particle moving with a velocity. That is move with the velocities. If I am putting some force, it will start rotate, move. That is your what? Velocity. It is what? Velocity. So force is there of magnetic, then we having the velocity. So assume for now there is no gravitational or electric field present. We are assuming there is no gravitational electric current present. Okay. Now, properties of a force on a charge moving in a magnetic field. So the magnitude Fb, that is force of the magnetic force exerted on the particle, is proportional to the charge, that is q, and to the speed, that is v, or velocity of a particle, q into v. We can say when a charged particle moves parallel to the field vector, the magnetic core force acting on the particle is zero. The magnetic force part, basically what will become, the force acting on the particle is zero when the particle's velocity vector makes an any angle theta is not equal to 0. So if I am talking about not equal to 0, making an angle that is not equal to 0 with the field, the force acts in the direction perpendicular to the plane. So force, basically force acts in the direction perpendicular to that plane formed by the velocity and the field. Basically it is formed by what? Formed by the velocity and the field. So I hope you understand this thing. Now the magnetic core force basically exerted on a positive charge is in the direction opposite. Now the magnetic force exerted on a positive charge is in the direction opposite the direction of magnetic force. Opposite the whom? Opposite the direction of magnetic force exerted on a negative charge moving in the same direction. Exerted on a negative charge moving in the same direction we are going. So we can say the magnitude of magnetic force is proportional to the sine theta. The angle theta is basically the angle between q and v. So it is in the form of sine theta. Fqv sine theta. F is equals to qv sine theta. Where theta is the angle the particle's velocity makes the direction of the magnetic field. Makes what? Makes the direction of the magnetic field. So I hope you understand now. Now these are the some differences between electrical and magnetic field, because we are talking about the fields, that is magnetic field. So electric field. Now the direction of force. The electric force acts along the direction of the electric field. The electric force acts along the direction of the electric field. Okay. Now the magnetic force acts perpendicular to the magnetic field. Now see what are the difference. An electric force acts along the direction of electric field. But if I am talking about the magnetic force, acts perpendicular to the magnetic field. In the direction, along the direction of electrical field, so electrical force is there along the direction. But if I am talking about the magnetic force, that is the perpendicular to the magnetic field. So difference in the force. In electrical, the force is along with the electrical field, but if magnetical, it is perpendicular. If I am talking about the motion, movement, the electric force acts on a charged particle regarding less of whether the particle is moving. The electric force acts on a charged particle regardless of whether the particle is moving. It's regardless. Okay. Now the magnetic force acts on a charged particle only when the particle is in the motion. It is in the moving. If it is moving, then magnetic force applied on it acts on. Otherwise, it will not act on. Now work. The electric force does work in a displacing a charged particle. That is EMF. Electric work, or we can say force, to basically move the charge from one point to another. So means displacing a charged particle. Displacing means one it is at the north, now move to the south. The magnetic force associated with a steady magnetic field does no work when a particle is displaced. Means it is a steady magnetic field and does no work when particle is displaced. When particle is not moving, when particle is not displacing, so we can say what? It basically do what, my dear student? It basically moving. They move it. Okay. Associated with the steady magnetic field does not work when a particle is displaced. This is because the force is perpendicular to the displacement of its point of application. This is because due to its perpendicular, means the force is perpendicular to the displacement of its point of the application. Okay, I hope you understand. Now move forward. Work in fields. How can we work? Now the kinetic energy of a charged particle moving through a magnetic field cannot be altered by the magnetic field alone. So kinetic energy means moving energy, movement. Movement of a charged particle through a magnetic field cannot be altered. Means magnetic field is alone can't be able to alter, change that moving particle value. So when a charged particle moves within a given velocity through a magnetic field, the field can alter the direction of velocity, but not the speed or kinetic energy. So, my dear student, one thing is there. In a magnetic field, if we having a charged particle, for example, so charged particle cannot be altered, means the value or the energy cannot be altered, means it is moving, it cannot be altered, but the direction can be changed by the magnetic field. So magnetic field can change the direction but does not alter the kinetic energy, does not change the kinetic energy of that charged particle. So I hope you understand. Now move forward. This is the notation notes. How can we notate it? Now when vectors are perpendicular, see here, when the vectors are perpendicular to the two dot to the pages, dot and cross are used here. So dot is basically the outside and cross is basically the input side, we can say. So dot represent the arrows coming out of the page. If page is there, so notation notes is there. Magnetic field lines coming out of the paper are indicated by dots representing the tips of arrows coming on outward. See here. So I took a page, and in this page, if I'm showing the dots, dot showing you the outside, mean it is coming out. Okay. If cross is there, I'm showing input, means inside. So insiding means inside in this, coming inside in this, and outside is there. So output is there, or input means in, coming, that's shown by the cross, and out is shown by the crosses. So the same notation applies to the other vectors. So it is for the vectors. We can also apply it for the vectors, direction based, cross shown by the out input and dot shown by the output. So it is always represented by this. I hope you understand this thing. So these are the some multiple choice question related to your magnetic field. So for example, which among the following qualities is not affected by the magnetic field? Moving charge, change in magnetic flux, current flowing in a conductor, stationary charge. When a charged particle moves at a right angle to the magnetic field, the variable quantity is what? Momentum, speed, energy, moment of inertia. In the flow of electric current is parallel to the magnetic field. The force will be the ratio of magnetic force to electric force on a charged particle getting undifracted in a field is. So you have to identify 1, 0, 2, or 4. What is the strength of magnetic field known as? Weakest force in nature is. These are the some options given to you. So that is the multiple choice question for you. Now, how can a magnetic field is produced? Using a permanent magnet, electric current, using a temporary magnet, using a permanent magnet or electric current. Okay. Can we see magnetic flux lines? Magnetic field lines move from the magnetic flux density is directly proportional to the magnetic field intensity. State true or false. So these are the some questions for you. Then you have to do it. Just go through it. If you have any query, you can ask me again. Now, these are the some reference books available through which I took some material, and you can also read. These are the good books available through which you can go through and out basically understand. In Siemens learning the electrical machine, the magnetic field is given in very innovative way. So you can go through here. That is of R.K. Srivastava. So you can understand about the magnetic field very easily in this. So I hope you understand a lot about this magnetic field through my lecture. If you have any query, you can ask me. So magnetic field, how magnetic field works, how can we relate that magnetic field to the electrical field? So all of this are in my lecture, was in my lecture. So you can just go through it. If you have any query, you can do. And the multiple choice question is basically is for the your testing that you, have you understand this lecture or not. So I hope you understand all this thing. So thank you from my side. I hope you understand this thing or understand my lecture. Thank you for listening. Okay, student.